What's going on, guys? In this series, I'm going to be starting off with $0 in a Chevy Avalanche. I'm going to attempt to make enough money to be able to open up my own custom shop and do restorations. The only problem is that I still live at my dad's house. Will I succeed or will I fail? Stay tuned to find out. Well, guys, the time has finally come to get rid of the Dodge Monaco, so I'm getting my trailer backed up here over by the garage, just not too close, of course. Gonna get my ramps folded down. I think right there should be sitting pretty good. I didn't know how long it was going to take me to find somebody to buy this thing, but this has probably been one of my more favorite cars ever to work on ever before. But it looks like we got everything all loaded up nice. Looks good on the trailer. All I gotta do is get it all strapped down, and I'm gonna probably start heading to town. I'm gonna get these ramps folded up. But I ended up finding a lady in town. Wasn't too far away. She said that it reminded her of a car that she had back in high school, and I knew immediately when she said that I was hooked, that I was gonna get this car sold. So I'm gonna drop it off at their house, collect my paycheck, take it to the bank, and I'll get with you guys when I get done. And there we go, $10,000 officially in my bank account. And I realized on the last episode, I never did show you guys my mini bike that I have. So I'm gonna take this thing out for a little bit of a spin. Probably gonna head over to the dump and see what they got over there. I know that they got a couple good vehicles, maybe some good projects I could work on, but we're gonna see. To the dump, to the dump, to the dump, 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 to the dump, to the dump, to the dump, 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 to the dump, to the dump, to the dump, 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 to the dump, the dump, dump, dump. I didn't really see anything that kind of struck my eye. There was a frame, there was a couple axles, some wheels, there's a couple other older cars over there, but that was about, wait. Whoa, hold on. Is that a Mustang? Hold on, I gotta go check this out. What do we have here? Looks like we have, oh my. Okay, hold on. All right, so right here we have ourselves, looks like a 69, maybe a 70 Mustang, soft top. Looks really faded. It looks like, I mean, it's been well taken care of, except it's just faded. It looks like it could use some work. Maybe it could use some of my fancy touches I got. I'm gonna knock on this door and see if anyone's home. It doesn't seem like anyone's home, so I'm just gonna leave my number on the door, and hopefully somebody calls me, gives me a call back about that car. But until then, I'm gonna get heading back to the shop, do a couple things around there, mess around with the derby car a little bit, and I guess I'll see how the rest of the day goes. I'm thinking our derby car here is probably ready to go for this next weekend, so we just got done running over in Iowa. And of course, we got to keep fixing it up, getting everything ready for the next derby every other weekend. I went through, so we got hit pretty hard on our left side here, on our driver's side here, and it kind of screwed up our wheel bearings. So I had to get our jack up underneath here, and I went through and I took this tire out, fixed the wheel bearings here, just so that way we were going to be good to run for this next weekend. The engine's still good, did another oil change on it, touched it up with some paint, and yeah, so that's what we ended up. Oh, hold on. I'm getting a phone call. Hold on one second. Hello? Yeah, that was me. I left my number there on your guys' door. Yeah, no, I have this little shop over here I run out of my dad's garage, and I work on cars, and I was just kind of wondering, what you guys would have to offer for that Mustang that you guys have out there. 70, okay, 7,500? Really? Yeah, does it run? Does it at least run? It does. Okay. All right, I'll tell you what. I'll be down there, and I'm assuming cash preferably. Okay. All right, I'll be on my way down there. I appreciate it. All right, thank you. Big news. We're heading to town. We're gonna go look at that Mustang, start it up, maybe get it loaded up on this trailer, and then I'm gonna be losing about 7,500 bucks. But hey, I can't argue with that. A 69 Mustang, that is amazing. That is something that comes along once in a lifetime, especially for that price. But we're gonna go see what we can get for it, and see, of course, what we can do and work on it, and see what kind of restoration we can do to it. So the lady's name was Karen, and she said that this car used to belong to her husband, and that it's kind of been sitting around in the garage for a while. She was actually thinking about putting it up for sale publicly here in the next week or so. But since I went through and I put my number on her door, she said that I can go through, and if I wanted, I could be first to want to do it. So I told her I wanted to drive it around a little bit. So we are going to do precisely that, and holy smokes, this thing just sounds amazing. I think this has got like a 302 with a 4-barrel carburetor in it. It does kind of sound like it's got a mist or something going on with it. It's got a little bit of a tick to it, but other than that, it seems like it runs good and drives fine. Let's see what it's got here on the straightaway. Oh my gosh, this thing just takes off. Okay, all right, so this is what we're gonna do. Well, if I don't hit it, I hit a deer. Oh no, well, that decreases the value, but we're gonna drive this thing around a little bit, and I guess I'm gonna probably give her the 7,500 bucks. I don't really think I need to go any lower on it. I think this is an amazing deal for this car. Let's work on getting this thing carefully loaded up. I said carefully, but hey, that works. There we go. Fix ourselves a little bit. $7,500 later, and we are the proud owner of a 69 Mustang. Oh my gosh, I am so excited to be able to work on this thing. You know, my dad's gonna be really jealous about this one. He's probably gonna tell me that I need to be able to afford my own pickup before too long. I can't just be using his all the time. Look at that suspension. Just hauling around all this equipment, just bagging his suspension out. Got it all offloaded off the trailer. I'm gonna open the hood here real quick, and I'm gonna see exactly what we're dealing with here. Okay, okay, so right now it looks like we got a 302 with looks like an Edelbrock 4-barrel carburetor on here. Some aftermarket valve covers, and that's about the only thing on here that looks like it has anything going with it. It did sound like it has a cam, but maybe that's just a big old misfire. I gotta figure all that stuff out, so I'm gonna break this thing down, and I'm gonna get the engine probably put down on this engine, and we're gonna see exactly what we're dealing with, break down the engine a little bit, and go through it and see what's up. Well, the engine is out, and let me just say that that was a really big pain to get this engine out, but got everything out. I'm going to bring it over here close to my knack toolbox, and I'm going to start tearing it down, seeing exactly what the issues are with it, and I'm going to diagnose it from there. I'm hoping it's nothing too expensive, nothing that's going to cost me an arm and a leg to get everything fixed, but man, this engine is beefy. Look at these things. And I was right, it did have a 4-barrel Edelbrock carburetor on here. It didn't look like it was tuned right, though, so that's probably one of the issues. It was getting too much fuel or not enough fuel. But let's get into it. Well, that was a fun process. Engine's taken apart, and look at that thing. So if you look here, there is some slight scoring in these cylinders, so that's not a good sign. When I took these pistons out, they weren't exactly happy with themselves either. I didn't notice that all my main bearings were all screwed up as well. So that's why if you come over here and you look at the crankshaft, so right here on the crankshaft, you can see some uneven wear spots here, and I don't know exactly I don't know what would have caused it. I'm thinking that somebody decided to only do like a top end rebuild on this thing and completely left out the bottom end when it came time to work on this motor. Heads are okay looking, they're fine. Maybe a little bit of valve lashing needs to be done, but that's not too big of a deal. But I think out at the junkyard, I did see a good bottom end donor for this car. I think right now what we're dealing with is just a little bit more extra money. And I might pick up another couple things while I'm at the dump, but we'll see how that goes. In the meantime, I'm going to have my dad start working on sanding this thing down, getting it down, putting a primer coat on here, so that way by the time I get back with everything from the dump, we don't have exactly too much work to do. So I'm going to get going on that. $2,000 later, we are the proud owners of this brand new engine. I don't know exactly what it is, but I think this is like a 429 Boss, maybe a 390. I'm not real sure, but if it's a 390, that'd be a nice snappy little motor. And then I also bought that frame set and this axle, so $2,000 for all of that. And that is a running motor. He guarantees it or my money back. But I need to get this frame loaded up and this axle, so I'm gonna get this drug up into the back of the trailer, and we are going to get everything all loaded up. I guess today we're about to see how great of a payload operator I am. I don't know exactly how well this is going to go, but this is the only piece of machinery I had to get this thing loaded up. Okay, I got to be real careful with this. We're going to back up nice and slow, so that way this thing doesn't end up falling off. Kind of get it put up here onto the trailer. So I got the engine stand up there, nice and easy, steady, steady, steady. I got to get myself backed up here just a little bit, not too much. Hit this thing straight on, and we should be good to get this thing loaded. Let's get it lowered down. I want to get the front of it on just like that. Slide it onto the trailer. Maybe just to higher up a little bit so that way it straddles that engine stand. Alright, just like that, we got everything all loaded up. Now I just got to get all strapped down, get my ramps pulled up, and we're going to be heading back to our shop. And it looks like my dad did a pretty good job getting this all sanded down, painted. I think the primer is still just a little bit wet. I do need to go through, and I'm going to probably get an upholstery guy up in here with my remaining $500, maybe get this thing reupholstered, but we'll see what happens. Let's get this paint curtain out of the way. This thing is just in the way. I'm running out of room in this shop. This shop is getting really crowded. I might have to find a different home for the derby car if I'm going to keep this up. So we got the old block here. And then we got the new block that is complete set up, ready to get dropped in. This thing is just amazing looking. That's going to be on the agenda for the future, getting this all dropped in. I have a lot of fabrication work ahead of me. But we're going to work on getting this engine finished up, go through it, maybe run it here on the stand, see how it sounds. But I think I might just actually try to do that. I'm going to get working on getting this thing cut down. It's probably going to take me a long time. We will cut back with you guys when we get the frame put in and the engine put in. And it's here, the greatest car slash four-wheel drive vehicle you have ever seen in your entire life. We have the 1969 Ford Mustang. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get a breakdown here on this car. So, I know you are wondering about these big meats of a tire that we have going on here. So, we have some BF Goodwrench all-terrain tires. Came out wonderful. The clearance level was perfect from what the axle was. We didn't have to drop anything down. We didn't have to put any other more suspension lift kits on here. The wheels themselves are off of a 2018 Ford F250. So they lined up perfect with our Kingpin Dana 60 and our Dana 80 rear end that we have. Of course, you guys already know of the cherry red color that we have going on, and we redid the vinyl on top of the car. This thing is looking wonderful. This is the best car that has come out of the shop yet. And if we go ahead and take a look under the hood, I know you can barely see up there, but there is our 390. This is a heck of a motor. So what we're going to do here, I'm going to get this hood shut if I can jump up here and reach it. And we're going to get this thing on the road, and we're going to see what kind of power she's putting to the ground. All right, so this thing is just cackling away. We're going to get ourselves going here. We're going to roll start this, and then we're going to see how fast we can get going before we get to that stoplight. There we go. Let's get this power band going. Holy crap. We're already at 70 mile an hour. 80. 83 mile. Okay, all right. I got to slow down before we go in town. I get pulled over by a cop. That's going to be bad. Let's take this thing out on some back roads, and we're going to see what she's really got. Oh, get out of the way, Jack. You're going to get hit. But like I said, let's get this thing put out on some back roads, and let's see what kind of power this thing can put down. Don't worry about me, guys. Let's just ramp this ditch real quick. This thing is just a powerhouse. Look at this thing go, just ramping ditches. Power of the four-wheel drive Mustang. But if you guys did enjoy this episode and you want to see more like this, please don't forget to smash that like button, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe to Midwest Ag for more. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.